Welcome back to Houses to Homes with Eric Spada, and I got my partner in crime here, Sgro. She's back here again. Welcome back.
Thanks, Eric.
So anyway, today I wanted to talk about something that it's kind of bothering me, just because of some of the files that I'm seeing. Honesty and integrity within the landscape of what we do, being mortgages. And specifically, how do people sleep at night when they jam clients? How do they sleep? It bothers me. So I have a client, had a client, I should say, because there's literally nothing we could do for him. So he'll be a client down the road, and he's already told me, you've done more for me than anybody else has, even though I can't get a mortgage with you. He can't get a mortgage with anybody right now just because of his situation. Mm-hmm. Anyway, which is fine. It's great. The universe will take care of me in other ways. Doesn't really matter. So going through the stuff and going through the motions with him in a long, drawn-out process, I call the lender. He's in a private right now. It's due to expire shortly. They won't renew him. It's negative equity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I find out, so he's under the impression that he put X amount of dollars down as a down payment. Come to find out that the underwriter wrote the mortgage at 102% of the, so it was appraised at 700, and they wrote the mortgage at 595, which is 85% LTV on a private, and it was 102% of his purchase price.
Oh wow!
Because he bought it 582,904. Okay, so that doesn't make sense to me. But the client's telling me I put a down payment. Okay, so talking to the lender, he put a down payment. Well, we have a certain percentage lender fee. There's no down payment. This is an interest-only mortgage. Come to realize, dollars that he put down, this percentage of it was the lender fee. Mm-hmm. This percentage of it was the brokerage fee. So this guy has no idea. He's like, no, I put a down payment down. I'm like, you didn't. You have to read I go, where did you find this broker?
I say that all the time when I have people like that. Where did you find this broker?
The realtor brought this broker in. And I come to find out even further, as this client is listing his property to try and sell it before the mortgage defaults. Mm-hmm. The realtor in the open houses is got this broker with her as well, or agent. I don't know if he's a broker or an agent yet. The lender fee turns out to be $17,000 in change, 17,600 and something. The broker fee was almost $24,000.
That's just as bad as the client I had.
$24,000. Now, I understand there's a cost. I understand there's a value in what we do.
Yeah.
But, and this is how I've always maintained it, if you're in a B or MIC or private situation, you have a problem. Not you as an individual per se, but there is a problem with your file. Bankruptcy, judgment, this, that, and the other thing, low income, bad situation, whatever it may be. How do you sleep at night putting somebody in an interest-only mortgage, private loan, and then jamming them for effectively almost $42,000 cash out of pocket? Where is the ethical representation? Where is the professionalism? Where is the integrity in doing that? How on God's green earth can somebody do that? And the other thing that I question is, maybe I'm wrong, but is the realtor in on it? Getting a slice of the pie under the table.
We don't know, right?
And the realtor got a cut of the commission from the sale or the purchase or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so bad for that guy. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be out of a home. He's going to have to go to rent. He says to me this morning, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, this guy's so stressed to the max. If you don't have integrity and ethics in what you do, why do you do it?
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
Go work for the bloody mob.
No, it's true. And you said this on our previous podcast. It's a hard road being a good broker. You know what I mean? And like, we have a client right now. I could have easily sold him doing a private. He had an accepted offer. And this is, again, I want to come back to this because we all think everybody knows they should get pre-approved when you get a mortgage, right? We just think that nobody should not get pre-approved. How do people not know to get pre-approved? But lo and behold, this client, he went and got an accepted offer. He has condition of financing by Friday. And
Was it a good realtor, though?
I don't know the realtor.
See, that's the other thing.
But that's the thing. This can't be a good realtor because why would she even do this offer, write up this offer, knowing that he doesn't know for sure whether he's able to finance or not? But he just took her word, oh yeah, I make this much money and don't worry, I'm good, right? So he calls me and he says he has an appointment with his bank and, I'll call back, I'll get back to you on Monday. And he calls me back and he said, no, the bank said they can't do it, ratios are too high or whatever. He goes, I'm going to need a private. So this is before I'm like, okay, well, he needs a private. So I went back to him and I said, do you realize that when we put people in a private loan, you have to have an exit strategy? And he's like, what do you mean? I go, we can't put you into a private if we know there's no way from a year from now or whatever, 6 months, that there's a way we could pay this loan out. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. He just thought we could just get a private and
keep renewing it.
And just keep renewing it every year, right?
Because why not, right?
Exactly. And I said, no, it doesn't work that way. So I look at this and I'm like, I could do a private for him. But I knew that if I put him into this mortgage, he is not going to qualify next year. I can't even put him in a B deal because ratios are too high. His only way of getting out of this is to sell his property. So what's beneficial for that? He's not gaining anything out of that. He's not willing to sell any of his other properties. But I could have said to him, you know what? Let's get you into a private. Next year, we will get you out of this without me doing that extra step to ensure that he could qualify if I take him out next year.
Right.
How many brokers do that in that moment? Do they just say, yeah, I'll get you a private and here's
it's
your
easy,
fee?
here you go.
It's so easy. Doing privates is the easy way out.
And I was talking to this private lender and they were good with me talking to me. They didn't question anything. They didn't say, give me a disclosure document or give me an authorization. They're like, okay. And I gave them the address. I gave them the players involved and they were fine. So clearly I knew who I was talking about, right? At any rate, I had this conversation with the BDM and I'm dropping F-bombs like a trucker, right? Just like a trucker. And he's like, and he says, he goes, man, I feel you. And he goes, do you know how many files come across our desk that we see brokerage fees of 5%?
It's crazy.
5%.
I could never. Never. Like never.
5. And I just said to him, I go, look, from one aspect, privates could be more difficult from one aspect.
Yes.
But from not needing an appraisal, not needing this, not that, they're very easy, compared to conventional, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a trade-off. Great. You're willing to work for 1% or 1.2% or whatever the case is with the big guys. Why do you got to charge 5%? to somebody who's in dire straits needs.
That's the thing that makes me sick.
These sons of bitches, I'm
Yeah.
coming for you. I'm coming for all you bad brokers out there.
Yeah.
Mark my words, at, 7:25 p.m. on, what day are we on? The 29th of September, 2022. Sgro Spada, we're coming for you. We are going to come for you because you're giving everybody a bad name. You're hurting people. And in this economy, you're making it worse for people because if they don't have an exit strategy, they're screwed.
Yeah, and I'm finding now with today's current market, all these people that have been in privates, these private lenders don't want to renew.
No, and they're going like 70, 75% max.
Max, and they've really cut it down. Like last year, we were able to get, private lenders that would even do up to 90%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I've seen even some lenders that are have currently unavailable their declared income, right? Because that's how bad it's getting, right? But I don't know. Like I had a client, she was. I did a podcast with her for predatory lending, and again, I looked at the disclosure to borrower to see what fees she was paying, and the broker fee was insane. And I'm like, first of all, how do these clients agree to this? Is what kills me.
How do they not know? How do they not? Really?
I tried to charge 1.5, and they're like, that's too high.
But exactly, what? I gotta pay you $25,000.
Yeah, but I'm like, how? How could you have signed this?
You know why? I'm convinced. They don't say anything, and what these predatory brokers and agents do, I'm convinced. La 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 la, unicorns and daisy dust and all this other stuff. They don't talk about anything, and then guess what? The house is going to close on the 2nd of October. Tomorrow's the 30th. You got to be in front of a lawyer. You either pay that or you're going to pay $150,000 in damages.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that you just said that because I've seen, I shouldn't say I've seen. I have heard from previous clients of mine that when I've asked them, how could you sign this? How could you take on a lender or broker fee this high?
I had no choice.
I had no choice. They're like, how long did they have the file? Well, they had it for months, and it was like everything was in a standstill. And then all of a sudden, we don't have time. Mm-hmm. Oh, so now our only choice is a private. Mm-hmm. That's what pisses me off because now they've had a really bad experience and they think all brokers are like that. And it's very hard for them they're like, they don't know me. How do they know that I'm not going to do the same thing?
The same thing. Once bitten, twice shy.
Exactly.
Big paintbrush. All you guys are the same.
And we're not. We are not the same. You and I, this whole brokerage is, if we can't do a mortgage that is in your best interest, that we know is good for you, maybe not currently, but from a year from now, we won't do it.
I always say, I tell my clients, if I'm not going to do the deal myself, I'm not going to ask you to do it. If I wouldn't take my pen and sign my name on it to go, I want that mortgage, I'm not going to ask you to do the same thing. Because if it's not good for me, it's not good for you.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
I've lost a lot of business because I won't do deals.
It's a hard road doing it the right way.
Yep. And I know I could sleep at night.
Yeah.
But
the funny thing is do you? Because
No.
I get a client like I'm dealing with now, and I don't feel good about it.
No, not when
I
they're
feel
like that.
Bad for him,
Right.
Even it sickens me that there's people out there that are doing that.
Yeah. And
I just had a file closed today.
Yeah.
You helped me with it when I was on vacay. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah.
So we're going through the documents, right, to get them to sign, and the wife kind of, asking a few questions, and I'm trying to think where's all this line of questioning coming from? I'm not quite sure, right? Mm-hmm. So at any rate, the husband kind of discloses they had a bad experience with their previous broker, right? They've always done traditional bank. Last time was a broker. First time was a broker. I'm the second time I'm a broker. Now I live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He saw me on social media, et cetera, and reached out. Anyway, a lender, like a, not
Is it
a.
a lender or
No,
a lending?
A lender.
Okay.
And I gotta ask the BDM. But anyway, the day of signing, that's when they learned there was a broker fee. The day of signing
Oh my God!
on
no.
an A lender.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. No, there shouldn't even be one.
So I'm not sure, but they ended up calling up their broker and they're like, "What is this? You didn't disclose this. You didn't tell me this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." Because they didn't. So I know you and I operate a little differently. I actually go through I'll sit for 45 minutes and I go and I like every little thing and I highlight stuff and this and that and the other.
Yeah. See, I don't highlight.
Yeah.
I will tell the client.
Shannon likes it when I highlight. She thinks it's kind of cool.
You know,
Thanks, Shannon.
I don't work as hard as he does. You know.
No, but you know what? But you would think like so. I don't even know how it got. I don't even know how this broker operated because they must have just sent the DocuSign out and just said sign it, and they didn't read it or they were in a pinch and they were in a rush. They actually had to have their lawyer at the day of signing call this broker
Yeah.
and say, "What the." You get it removed now and resend this to me. And they almost lost the funding because the lawyer's like, we're not signing this document until such time that that's removed. Mm-hmm. But I'm going, what is with people? The day of signing, you find out there's a brokerage fee?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand. Because they were like looking at me once bitten, twice shy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, because what had happened, right? The way it all came about really was the lender that we used, an A lender as well, a major. They had the file, but underwriting didn't get to the file until after the increase.
Right.
And they don't use the timestamp. Like we have another one that we use.
Yeah.
They use the timestamp. If
Okay.
rates go up, you're protected.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This particular one, until it's funded,
Okay.
you are susceptible to anything.
Yeah.
And I had to call them and tell them. And they were like, really?
Right.
Really? And I'm like, it's their policy. It is. I whatever. We actually went back though. I'll give that lender credit. I can't tell you who it is. But we got, instead of a 0.4 discount off of prime, we got 0.62.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I asked for 0.7. 0.7 would have been the midline between what it was before the increase and what it is, right? The payment wise. But anyway, they were fantastic. But this client, to be fair, had a very strong portfolio.
Okay.
Good savings, everything else like that. There was some BFS in there, and then COVID impacted it, so the income was off. But very good client from a sound perspective. So the lender looked at it and gave some leeway on it. So I was pretty happy about that. But I don't understand. I'm just so intrinsically bothered by it.
Yep.
Because I think it's horrible. I think
It's because we care. We actually do care about our clients because brokers or agents that will charge that much of a fee, they're not there looking out for the client's best interests. Like, it's insane. They have a different mentality. And
it's greed.
It is total greed.
Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. I'm going to slaughter every son of a gun hog out there.
Yeah, and it's not even like they're just doing this on one deal. It's like every deal they're doing this.
Oh my gosh.
And it makes me sick to my stomach, that people like that are still continuing to get business. But are they? Is it going to come to a point where, you can't keep screwing people like that? At some point, it's got to end.
You would think so, but they're still there. Nobody's calling FSRA on them. Nobody's launching any complaints. They're still operating. You want it's criminal because it's like getting the mortgage from the jewelry guy. I'll approve you in 24 hours.
Yeah, but people no, it's true. But that's the problem with having no legislation on it. Like,
no,
it's not.
But that's going to change probably.
Yeah, and
that
it
has
should.
to change.
It should change because I'm sorry, I work hard. There are some privates that they're very simple. There's some that are brutal. And the amount of hours that we've put into that, and on top of the amount of stress, just the stress alone, because I'm like, oh my God, if we don't fund this, if we don't find a lender to do this, this client is going to be just like your client, what they're going through right now.
Out of a home.
Out of a home. And we're like, oh my God, do I have to charge them? So now I found a lender because miraculously I found one and I saved her. Does that give me the right to now charge her more? Because that's the mentality where I think they come from.
Oh, yeah.
Now I found a lender, so I saved you. So you
owe me.
Exactly. And that's the wrong thing to do.
Look, we're in the business to help people find financing.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah.
We're not loan sharks ourselves.
No.
I didn't win the Powerball and I'm giving out money at 20% interest, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'm not rich enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm here to help people. And I think what's going on is people forget what their job is
Yeah.
and forget the definition of the words in their job.
For
help
sure.
people.
Yeah.
You don't help people by hurting them more.
No.
And it's just aggravating and agitating. And, so even this client, I put him in touch with a real realtor. Okay. Like a real shark of a realtor. I gave him the scope and I said, listen, can you help this guy out? Within 7 days, he had every detail on the property where the previous realtor went wrong. The guy lives in the city of Hamilton. And she put he was on septic. He's in the city proper.
What?
And he's on septic. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Not at all.
So she erred in so many different fashions on this listing. He didn't get the activity. It was valued at $700. 30 days after he bought it, because it was a short term, she marks it on the market at $769. This is the beginning of summer. I don't think the market was still doing this the beginning of summer. I'm pretty sure at best it was this.
Yeah.
If not this.
Yeah, no, because I had clients where that was it. That was the peak of started going down.
Right. I had clients in May that in April, the valuation in their neighborhood was $300,000 more.
Yeah, I had where the offer was in May, appraisal was done in June, and it already dropped $100,000.
Yeah, so she marked it up $69,000 more than what it was valued at 30 days earlier. Then she dropped it by $70,000 to put it at $699 in July. The Purview report shows 540 something. Is the median in that neighborhood. So I put him on with a shark. The shark's got pictures already. So within 7 days, he finds all these discrepancies.
Yeah.
Just contacting people, doing all kinds of things. It's listed, and he's going to take a loss on it. I feel so horrible for the gentleman. He's going to take a loss. It is what it is. Because they registered that mortgage at $595. It's an interest-only mortgage. He's not going to, if the median average is 542 or 541, whatever that number was.
Yeah.
It's definitely not 595. So, I feel bad for him. But this shark, he said to me, he goes, I'm going to do it at a discount to help this guy out. Wow. So he's doing it at a fixed rate, which is nowhere near that 2.25% that you would normally get. Mm-hmm. He helped him find a rental, and he's helping him negotiate the rental at no charge on the back end.
Wow.
So that's what it means to help people.
Yeah.
These pricks.
No, it's like
that just gouge.
It does. It
leech and
doesn't
suck.
it just make you sick inside? Like
I'm angry. I'm redlining.
I know.
Kinsman Crew. I am redlining right now. That's what they call me, redline. Okay. I'm getting it just infuriates me, and I just want to. I'm telling you, we're gonna come for you guys. We're going to take you down. You keep doing what you're doing. You know why? Because you're going to make us look even better.
It's true.
You keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, because my
and we're going to be the ones standing.
Yeah, my last client, she's like, you are seriously, I an angel that has come into our life, you know? And it's so sad to think that, like, you feel bad because it's not even a matter of putting them in that. They don't realize the long-term effect that it's affected
Oh my
them.
gosh.
You know what I mean? How much stress did my clients go through after it was funded? You know, just the interest-only payments at a rate that they had was insane.
In a market that's declining.
In a market that's exactly.
So you bought high and you can only sell low,
Yeah.
and you didn't knock anything down.
Nothing down. And, you know, she's like, I had to go take another side job. You know, my husband had to do extra work. And what's with this broker? That's it. They've washed their hands clean.
Let's go out for cocktails.
That's it.
Done.
You know what I mean? And the worst part is when they tried to get in contact with him, he was blaming the lawyer. Well, you didn't have to sign this. You had no other choice. I saved you. It's like, huh? You know, I had a client and, you know, I've done her mortgage, you know, a few times. She has, you know, different properties and she was in a bind. Typically, I find I work with private lenders that have the same ethics as we do. Because, and that's another thing. There's good private lenders, there's shitty private lenders. You have to know. And, you know, you have to source them out. And then when you find them, those are the ones that you continue to work with. Most of the time, whatever the lender fee is, I will match that, right? Depending on the loan amount. And in this case, you know, the lender was charging 2%. You know, the loan amount was, I don't know, $400,000. I could have charged her 2%, right? And most people would have probably charged her 2%. I charged her 1% because I knew that $4,000 difference was going to make a huge impact on her. Like
Plus legal fees, that's whatever.
Exactly. And like you said, I'm like, the universe will pay me back in other ways. You know what I mean? But who does that? You know, and I had another client where the lender charged 1.5%. It's a B lender. Normally B lenders are 1%.
1%, yeah.
Yeah, this B lender charged 1.5% because of the type of the product that it was.
All right.
And I said, she was already, you know, the interest rate was pretty high. And I know overall, you know, I reduced my broker fee to 1% because that's what I charge on all B lenders. I never told her. I felt like, you know, I didn't even want to tell her. She just thought it was 1.5%, 1%. I could have said to her, you know what? I'm not going to say her name, but I could have said to her, you know what? I just wanted to let you know that I did reduce the broker fee by 1.5%.
You don't need to tell them.
I don't need to tell them.
That's the feel good.
That was the feel good. And, you know, I felt so good doing that. And she was so happy because her moving into that property just made her life so much easier. You know what I mean? And I find that we're far in between. We're like on the different end of the spectrum compared to a lot of brokers and agents.
Yep.
And
it's all about ethics.
It's all about ethics.
Do you have the ethics? Do you have the morals? Do you have the moral compass? Do you have the professionalism? Are you human? It's all these things that you know that drive me to be better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Better than those schmucks out there, those as I like to say, bacalas out there. You know what I mean? You want to be a salty fish, you go be a bacala.
No, but when people ask, why do you want to be a mortgage broker? When I first started, I wanted to be one because I love to help people. Just like you said, I didn't become a mortgage broker so I can make a lot of money, screw people over. I found a solution for them. I want to get paid. I want to get compensated. But you do it in the right way.
Well, your efforts have to be rewarded.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be egregious with it. You don't have to be unethical about it.
No.
You get paid, you get paid.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. You just got to do the right thing. And I think these, like I said, these schmucks, these bacalas, bacalas, you want to be a salty cod, you go be a salty cod. Don't worry. I relish in the opportunity to take you down.
Exactly.
And our team is going to take you down one at a time. It's going to be a long road, but you keep doing what you're doing out there. You become known.
Yeah.
You're very easily known. Don't worry about it. We'll be there to truly help the people. When you're screwing them, we're going to help them.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's going to get hurt. In the end, it's all going to come back. The universe is going to help those people. The universe is going to look good on us, and the universe is going to give you what you deserve.
Yeah.
And that's it.
No, for sure. Because even like that last client where that other broker put her into something and charged her an astronomical fees, now obviously the rates have gone up, so her mortgage payment's going to go up.
Yep.
And she said something to me. She goes, "You know what? I have the power of faith, and if my rate goes up and my mortgage payments goes up by $1,000, I know that my faith is so strong, I will be able to do it." Mm-hmm. And, it takes a lot for people to do that.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I'm happy that this is the way I work with my clients. And I know that we're continually being rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Well, it's always a pleasure.
Oh,
always a pleasure. Yes.
Sgro
Spada. Like, subscribe, click the bell, comment below, share with your friends, give us a call. This was Houses to Homes with Eric Spada. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again, Dee. We'll talk to you guys soon. P.S. We're coming for you.